he co-created OpenAI, and it was intended to be an open source company. Well, now
Mm,
OpenAI is ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is a commercial product. So you have to still pay for it, you know? And you have, I mean, in the future, and all this data will be probably
yeah.
sold to organizations. And have you seen already these startups pop up that are like, okay, AI generated resume, AI generated like cover letter and like copywriting for your marketing, and all of this obviously already exists. And I'm wondering, like, when I'm looking at the pricing, and it's like,
Mm,
wow, it's like high prices, but they understand that with this prices they're actually substituting their professionals, right, in their on their team. So and I've been experimenting with
yeah.
writing AI, and it's been quite good. It was just soulless, but it was really good text, you know.
Mm,
But you're in the
yeah.
space, you know how it is.
No, no, that's so interesting because I was speaking on a panel at Digital Fashion Week on sort of generative AI and AI in fashion, and it started really like pretty optimistic, and then
Mm-hmm.
towards the end, someone was like, "So who's going to be like the mother AI?" And then we were sort of debating,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
you
yeah.
said, like OpenAI and what happened there, and what happens if it's just money
Yeah.
grabbing and in the wrong hands, and
Right.
you train it with people's like violent kind of tendencies, that troll. There's so many like negative parts of humans that could be sort of amplified. So you want to really like focus and direct it in the positive direction. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things for me, because when I started, I was in like building a social network. At the time, it was so optimistic, and then suddenly there's like in England there's like Cambridge Analytica, and then
Oh
there's
yeah.
Brexit, and I kind of got involved a little bit in politics for a while.
Oh really? Oh, I'd love to
Um,
hear that part of your story.
so I'm coming back to tech in a big way, but I'm like I want to be, yeah, and but I want to be like an architect for and making sure that people who are building are really actively like conscious about what they're trying to build, and the ethics of the
Mm-hmm.
platform, and just so many aspects like that, because it has huge implications. And on that
Totally.
side there is a girl called Gigi, and I can pass you her details, and we've been thinking about co-writing a book about this, like looking at the mistakes of social networks, what kind of went wrong
Mm-hmm.
in order to build better metaverses. But I think there's an even wider play talking about digital identity, about AI, and maybe it's something that you would be, because and it's exactly the same thinking as you. Like I get invited to go and do talks, but I'm almost not happy to do it unless I've got something of real substance. Like I've written a book, I know exactly what my message is. It's a
Yeah,
fully
yeah,
formed
yeah. Yeah.
thought process. There's evidence to back it up. All of those sorts of things. Um, and I've yeah, I've got so yeah, working with Gigi, and we basically from June, once the event is finished, we're gonna like take a week or two in Italy or somewhere, and we're just gonna like write and put
Amazing.
it together, maybe self-publish.
Yeah, that sounds
Um,
really good.
and then we've got this really cool, yeah, we've got this image for the front cover. I just got it approved. It's generative AI. It's of Stonehenge. I'll send you the picture. It's really beautiful, and what he wrote about it. Stonehenge, but with like mirrors. Um,
Wow.
so I'll send you that, and yeah, maybe it's something that we can discuss later
Look, I would
on,
love to
because
contribute
you're clearly like
to the
really
book.
plugged into like oracles, this or that.
Yeah, no, the
Yeah,
spirituality is
yeah, we
still
could
a
all have our like
core.
different focus areas. Spirit, that's kind of almost the starting point. Like it would be great for
Mm-hmm.
us to like sit around the table and be like, okay, here's tech, here's spirituality, what do we actually think? And then we kind of like, we don't go full in like talking about Lemurian Atlantis, but we're kind of thinking that in the background, and kind of almost like semi-architecting, like this is what it should look like if there was a really spiritual society, what
Mm-hmm.
would that look like? um
I
and
love
almost
it.
create the roadmap for like, let's head in this direction, let's head in that direction. um so yeah,
So
that'll
cool.
be
I
fun.
love it. I love it. Like that's the thing. Like I think it's time we are always a lot of us are a lot of like there are a lot of talking going on, and same on Twitter Spaces, and action driven stuff is more about shilling and selling, you know, still. I feel like there is still a lot in our industry that has to do with Here's my NFT drop, and we're talking about this NFT drop and creation process behind it. But I believe that we need to also take it more seriously as
Yeah.
not a fashion world, but rather as a world itself, and to really see how we can, advise organizations, again, like what I say, network states, and communities like DAOs and people who are on the forefront of this Web3 and AI, in innovation, but they also would need a little bit more than just looking at this opportunity to raise and get money, but rather to really build something that is powerful. And I truly believe that the leadership will come from the women's voices, and the men will have to stop really like be competitors to us anymore, because like we're competing basically with men for attention, for people's time, for people's energy. But I believe it will be reversed, that the men will want to join women only teams, and they will be wanting to be part of the listening rather than the speaking, and always like being on the forefront of like ideation. It's a big one. I mean, it comes back to spirituality and how this rebalancing of our society will come from the women's voices and the womb. Like the fact that we are connected with the moon so much and we have the cycles, we are really not supposed to work like at least a week out of a whole month. We're supposed to be there in our insides, in our yin, in our feminine, and really chill and relax, and then we'll have a lot of energy to be super productive without needing to spend so much time on our work. I just believe that it's going to be like a big lifestyle shift, guided by the voices
I
and the
agree.
leadership.
Yeah. I really, really like that, because I've been in the kind of startup culture where you can kind of get burnt out, and I've sometimes had like literally a year where it's been like more chilled and like kind of going more into nature and things like that. But I'd love to like not go really hard and then burn out and then do that. I'd love for it to be just like these cycles, and almost easier to live with other women who understand that as well, and can define that. I've also, these are some of my aspirations, but I'd love to have like a co-working space which is for women and women entrepreneurs, that also has like a nursery for children, and it's more like an integrated, like it understands that like balanced space, like co-working area, health center, yoga, farm, all of those. That's like for me the ultimate dream of like a place that I'd live.
I'm with you. I feel you.
But yeah,
But you're in London
way
right
away.
now. Is that correct? You're in the city?
I'm in the city, yeah. So I can see that happening in maybe suburbs of cities. So I was thinking, it would be cool to have spaces like that. That's just like 2 hours from the city center. That's like this really like cute, cozy co-working hub that people can go to on the weekend or during the week, and it's just a bit more balanced.
Yeah, totally. I'm with you. I think eventually
So many things.
my
Oh my
biggest
God, it's
goal.
so great speaking to you.
Yeah. No, we
It's
have a lot in
very
touch.
rare to
It's
find
just
people like you.
it's just a little bit asynchronistic. So I start speaking and you're still finishing your point. So I apologize for this connection. But I think it's all good. Maybe it takes time for us to also integrate what each of us said and just listen closely. Maybe we should create like a space for you and I and like a public conversation. I'm starting another thing. I have already a YouTube where I post some glimpses of the work that I do. But I think I already have invited a few friends and people that I really respect and would like to hear from and catch up for a podcast. It's called Balanced Podcast. And finally, because I've been recording different episodes with different people, but just it didn't align. It didn't feel like it's the right time. But now I feel like I'm finding the right individuals. So maybe with time we can also record a podcast with you as you're igniting these initiatives. So we can also have like a catch up within like 6 months after it, or even a year, so that there's like we don't just lose touch. But not you and I, but generally like people don't lose touch from the progress of what we are doing. And have it like a product management catch up basically, just like from both ends. That would be interesting. Like, let me know
Definitely.
if this is something that is of interest, and I can send you details
Yeah.
on this vision of a podcast. And once I have some guests already confirmed.
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay.
I think for me, like my priorities is the conference, that event, then it's the book, and then once I've got the book, which will be like all of my thinking, then or just like really thinking about it deeply, then I'm happy to have conversations